Solomon builds the temple. David, Solomon's father, wanted to build a temple for God. But God said that because David had fought in a lot of wars, he wasn't suitable for building a temple. So David prepared a lot of things so that the king who succeeded him could build the temple. The temple was to be built at the site where offerings and prayers for those who suffer from infectious diseases were offered to God. When Solomon became the king, a king named Hiram, who lived on the island of Tyre north of Israel, sent his envoys to Solomon to congratulate him. Solomon had been needing someone's help in building the temple since he'd never constructed a temple before. So King Hiram had come at a very good time, and the two of them made a great treaty. King Hiram agreed to send Solomon the tools and manpower that Solomon needed for construction. Everything was ready, including the many resources, the site of the temple, which was decided ever since the times of David, a king who was ready to build the temple, and a nation capable of building it. In the 480 years since leaving Egypt, and in the 4th year of the reign of King Solomon, the construction of the temple finally began. The temple built by Solomon is about 27 meters long, 9 meters wide, and 14 meters high. Contrary to what people think, the temple seems a bit small. But considering the fact that it took 7 years to build this temple, one can see just how devoted they were to building it. According to the Bible, it says that no iron tools were used to construct the inside of the temple. Solomon made people trim stones and trees perfectly from other places and bring them to the temple, so that the whole process was more like worshiping God and offering sacrifices to Him rather than constructing an architecture. Therefore, the entire temple was constructed as a work of art itself. When the temple was built, the chief priests moved the chest of God, which Moses made according to God's commands, from the synagogue. The Levites brought in the temple all the other instruments used in the synagogue. When everything was finally organized in the temple, the Lord's temple was filled with clouds. The glory of God had filled the place. The chief priests came out because they could not stay in the temple of God, just like in Exodus, how Moses couldn't enter the tent when it was completed because it was so filled with the glory of God. While the temple is built by human, God dwells in the temple if it's made in God's commands, with hearts devoted to God. God fills such spaces with His own glory, whether it's a tent made of cloth or a temple filled with fancy ornaments.